Hi, it's the middle of November. We are getting closer and closer to Christmas. So I've got some books to talk about, including this one that when I'd filmed my end of October, I realised I'd forgotten. Anthony Horowitz, The Twist of a Knife. It's the third in the Daniel Hawthorne's, no it isn't, it's the fourth in the Daniel Hawthorne series. And I've liked this series. It's a nice, easy read, and what I like is the way that Anthony Horowitz puts himself into the book as himself, and he just pokes fun at himself. I like that. I don't know. I just like that bit. It's the opening night of Anthony's play Mind Game, and a critic, the critic who absolutely slams it, is murdered. And the police immediately arrest Anthony. He has to call on his friend Daniel, but everybody in the cast is a suspect because it's the actors, the people involved in the production, the author, everyone is a suspect. And it was just a fun read. And I read that in October, so I forgot to talk about it then. So moving on to November proper. If you look at, I am out of sync with my videos. Goodreads. If you look at my Goodreads channel, I've read more books than I'm actually talking about because I've not got around to doing the videos. Or if I have done the videos, I've not got around to doing, sort of editing and whatever. So I get a little bit out of sync sometimes. So these are the books in November that I've managed to do the videos for. Does that make sense? Rachel Cusk, Parade. I picked this one up because it was longlisted on the Goldsmiths Prize for this year, which is this prize for books that push the boundaries. And it's actually the one that's won. The prize has now been announced. And it's the one that actually won the prize this year. It's a book that made me work. It's from the female perspective in the art world. There's no real cast of characters, there's no real plot. It's looking at artists that are all called, she calls all the artists G. And you move in and out of these artists' lives. And you've got recurrent themes of marriage and children and mothers and death. You've got recurrent images of light and dark, of windows, of mirrors. It's sort of like an examination of creativity, which can be destructive and beautiful, and how creativity, how art can enhance and destroy relationships. For people who are into art, I'm sure they will recognise the artists that these Gs are. I'm not into that at all, so that as a layer that I didn't reach. Does that, if you see what I mean? So yes, it's a book that made me work, but it has now won the Goldsmiths Prize. The next one is Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. I listened to this on Audible. Meryl Streep narrates it, and it's set during COVID on a cherry farm in Michigan, and Lara and Joe are with their daughters, Maisie, Nell and Emily. And to while away the time, Lara tells the story of the relationship she had with an actor Peter Duke, though when she had the relationship with him, he was still just starting his career. And so she tells them the story of the love affair. What I loved about Lara was that she tells this story to her daughter. She's got no regrets in her life at all in the choices she's made. She is perfectly happy. She's got no regrets that the relationship with this Peter Duke ended. She's got no regrets about anything she's done. She is perfectly happy and content. And what I also like is that she lets the reader into secrets that she doesn't tell her daughter, and she has certainly not told her husband. So we know a little bit more than everybody else. And the ending, I didn't really see the ending coming. I never expected it at all. It was a super read, listen. And Meryl Streep was just Lara. Then I read the third in the Gone with the Penguins, the Penguins trilogy by Hazel Pryor. I think there's A Way with the Penguins. There's two other books in they've all got penguins in the title. I can't remember the proper titles. And this is Gone with the Penguins, and it's the third in the series, and we're back again with 87-year-old Veronica McCready, who's this feisty woman. And her local sea life centre is closing, and the penguins in there are due to be put to sleep. So she decides that, taking inspiration from emperor penguins, she is going to walk 100 miles to raise money to save the Sea Life Centre. And she goes along, and her housekeeper Eileen accompanies her, along with 10-year-old Daisy, who we've met in previous books. And they go off to the Galapagos Islands, the Falklands, Lockwood Island, Antarctica. They do this 100-mile walk, and you meet characters that you've met in the other books, so Robert Saddlebow, Patrick and Terry, and you meet the penguins again. There are loads and loads of descriptions of penguins and landscape. To be honest, I got a little bit fed up with Veronica in this one. I just got fed up with her stubbornness and her refusal to be helped by anybody, but I did love Eileen's story. Eileen's story arc in this one is brilliant. Then, what did I do? Oh, the Rainfall Market by Yu Yong-guan. It's not out as a YA, but I think it's more a YA book. This the feel I got when I read it. And it's one that was a little bit disappointing. It promised more than I took from it. The idea is that in the rainy season, this pop-up market appears, this rainfall market, that you have to be invited to go to. And once you're there, you can shop around and choose a new life. And Seren is our main character. Her and her mum live in poverty. Her sisters run away. She doesn't have any friends. She would love to change her life. So she enters this market where you've got the Dakibi people who are otherworldly. The whole market is otherworldly. And there is peril there. There's dangers there. She's accompanied by Isha, a cat. That is the cat is super. And she keeps choosing these different lives, but everything is negative. This is what I didn't get. Every single choice she made when she looked at this life that she could have, there's no positivity there. And the Dakibi seem to have ulterior motives. I don't know. There was some world building, but I needed more world building. I don't know. I just felt that it missed. Then I read The Door-to-Door Bookstore by Carsten Henn. This was a bestseller in Germany in 2020, and it's a love letter to books and reading. 72-year-old Carl is a book walker. When the shop closes, he takes his little trolley and backpack, and he goes and delivers books to people who either can't or won't come to the store. And over the years, he's got to know all his customers. So he can predict what books, he can choose the books that are right for them. And one day he meets 9-year-old Sasha, Jaja, I think. Jaja. And she goes with him, even though he tells her not to. And her perspective on everything amazes him. And the way that she sees things in the customers that he just missed. And there's even a cat that barks, that he's called Dog. And when an event happens, he finds the power of friendship and books. And there's a super quotation: within each book lies a heart that begins to beat when someone reads it. Isn't that true? So that was a nice read. And then the final one was Actress by Anne Enright. And this is Nora looking back on her life with her mother, fictional actress Catherine O'Dell. And it's an inner monologue that's non-linear. Nora goes backwards and forwards. And you learn as much about Nora as you do about Catherine. It's early Hollywood glamour, the early eras of Hollywood. And the cost of fame is difficult relationships, mental illness, and a violent act upskittles Catherine totally. And Nora has also paid a price. She's never known her father, and she's trying to find his identity, but there's a dark secret hidden. And it's a book that left me quite sad, really. But Nora never, ever gives up on her mother. So those are the books that I've read that I've actually got filmed to talk about. And my book of the month, halfway through the month, I think it is Tom Lake. That was my highest scoring book so far this month, for November. Tom Lake. I absolutely loved it. I loved listening to Meryl Streep become Lara. And I loved the story as well. So, I'll carry on reading. And I will try to keep my videoing up to date, but I always fail. And I will catch you next time. So, happy reading. Take care.